Welcome to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show, where you get advice you can trust. From home selling tips to investing, this is the talk show that will help you make the most money when selling your most valuable asset and save the most money when buying. Now here are your hosts, Dave McKay, along with Wally Kerr, broker and founder of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty in Oklahoma City.
Well, Wally and Cindy, good mid-morning to you as just 11 o'clock. You know, this is our second week being here at 11. We changed from 7 a.m.
Love it.
Full of coffee, a nice breakfast this morning, and here we are ready to tackle the day.
Yeah, I hope our listeners have all found us here at 11 a.m. It's great to be here with you again this week, Dave.
What topics do we have on store for today?
Well, we'll get our funny story in here in just a few minutes. Always enjoy sharing those. In our house talk portion today, Cindy and I are going to address succeeding in this current market, whether you're buying or selling a home. And there are ways to get that done, so we'll talk about that today. I'm going to do part 4 in our weekly wisdom segment on if you're selling a home, what not to say when you're selling a home. Cindy's going to talk tech and design in not only your current home, but in new homes too.
Cool.
I've seen part of what she brought today, and it's really, really good.
Awesome.
So stay tuned for that. Then we're also going to talk about, and I think this will be our really interesting segment for all listeners today, and that is average sales prices here in the Oklahoma City metro area. Has your area been the one that's increased the most in value?
Okay.
We're going to share that today and look at what different cities around the metro have done and how their values have increased and what those percentages are and which areas increased the most. And I think that'll be a lot of fun today. We'll wrap it up today with just get ready for winter. Got a chilly this week.
Yes, it was.
And so
Yes.
there's always some things to do to get ready for colder weather, and we'll talk about that today also.
Fantastic. And as always, the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show is brought to you by Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage and Best Protect Roofing and Construction. And by the way, if you can't catch the show live, all the episodes are available for download at the major podcast apps and, of course, at wallytalkshouses.com, which is great because you'll find a summary for each show so you can stroll through the topics and find which ones you want to listen to.
Right. Our marketing staff's really done a good job there. We've got 7 or 8 months of shows now. And so really, if you scroll through there, Dave, we've got about 100 topics, and you can just look at the ones that interest you the most, download the show, and just listen to that segment if you'd like. We want to make it real easy and organized and convenient for our listeners to get the information they want about real estate.
And as much as we've mentioned them, is there a topic on donuts?
There is no topic on donuts. We need to definitely get a segment on the best donuts. Well, maybe we'll try that next week.
There we go. We'll be right back with our funny story of the week. Stick around.
The market is shifting. Do you know what to do? If you're selling a home, you need to realize that market demand is changing, and it's changing now. More homes are coming on the market than homes that are actually selling, so the inventory is going up. What does rising inventory mean? Prices can soften. It's important you get on the train right now and understand what you need to do to sell a home. First of all, my guaranteed home sale program will create more demand for your home because I can buy someone else's home so that they can buy yours. If you're thinking about selling by owner, I can create more demand for your home than you can ever create on your own. I'm Wally Kerr, and I believe in aggressive marketing. My wife and I have done this for 36 years together, and we now have a team of 28 people. If you'd like to create more demand for your home so that your home will sell faster and for top dollar, give me a call today at 405-330-4000 at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I'd love to meet with you and discuss a strategy and plan for getting your home sold. Call me at 330-4000. I look forward to talking to you myself.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233. Equal housing lender.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
We're back, and it's always great to start off with a nice lighthearted segment, and it's our funny story of the week. And what do we have this week?
I've shared quite a few of our personal stories between me and Cindy and the things we've seen over the years. So now I'm having to find some other realtors who have also had some crazy stories that have happened.
Yes.
So this one comes from realtor Michael Lee. He's out of state. So here's the story, Dave. He owned a rental home in San Francisco, and he had some tenants that stopped paying their rent.
Oh.
When he tried to evict them, they burned the property to the ground. Now, he said what's funny is that he was actually planning on remodeling the house after the tenants moved out. Now, here's the kicker. Not only did they evict themselves by burning the house down,
Sure,
right?
They had no place to stay.
I mean, they were mad. Now they don't even have a place to stay.
Yes.
I hope they had to pay higher rent on the next place.
Yes.
But now the house is unlivable. It's gone. But the insurance company paid to rebuild the property to current standards. So Michael gets this home totally rebuilt to current standards.
Wow.
Doesn't pay anything for it. And then get this. They also paid him the missed rent that he lost because the tenants burned it to the ground.
Oh, my gosh.
So
that was a win for the landlord.
Wow.
A total win for Michael. Here's the moral of the story is he says, don't ever let your insurance lapse.
Yes.
Whatever you do, because it sure did serve him great here, right? He gets
Wow.
not only a new house built that's going to probably rent for more money because
Sure.
it's newer, takes care of all the problems inside the home, and then he doesn't pay anything at all.
You know, and
'cause
knowing the
insurance pays
homes
for it.
in San Francisco, the electrical is old in those neighborhoods when you're in
probably
downtown San
updated
Francisco.
everything.
So that was all updated, and
Yes.
how fantastic for him.
A lot of people do own their home free and clear. Be sure you don't let that insurance lapse. And also, always stay in touch with your mortgage company. This is just part of, I guess, our weekly wisdom also, and that is make sure your home is insured for enough, at least to go
Yes.
in and reproduce your home to where it could be built back again.
Okay, so this week's House Talk segment, succeeding in the current market if you're buying or selling a home. There's so much talk about the real estate market and interest rates. The more I look online, now I know my phone listens to me a lot because I get served certain ads, and now I'm getting information about the feds and interest rates and stuff. It must
I've
be
been doing a
listening
little
to you.
research there, haven't you, since we
a
started
little
our
bit.
show?
Trying to get caught up is what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I'm getting these ads, and I know there's still many home buyers and even more home sellers in the market today because some of the homes, like we've talked about, are just sitting on the market longer. You've related the statistics over the last couple of weeks about days on the market have
Right.
been increasing. I know for Kerr team, the average usually 17 or 18 days, and the state average is probably about 30, 31 days,
Yeah, you
I think,
remember
right?
the stats good.
Yes.
38, I believe, in 2022. Our average days on the market was 17 days for the 160 or 170 home sellers that we
Yes.
served. And then the rest of the metro, all lumped together, on an average was 38 days. It's changed a little bit this year because you're right. Things are sitting a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Dave.
so now we've even talked about 60, 70, 80 days. And with more homes and with the buyers kind of come and going, there's got to be a happy medium. There still has to be win-win on both sides. There's got to be a medium to this. So would you both tell me how home buyers and home sellers can find that happy medium so that everyone wins, something that works for both parties in the current market?
Yeah, sure. So a win-win is always great. It's great up front. It's great at the closing table. It's great when you hit a hitch. A lot of times homes will be under contract and maybe an inspection issue comes up. So if the seller and buyer both feel like it's a fair deal to them, that probably works out best. So, Dave, it's clear that buyers are struggling with home affordability today. That's the big issue with the higher rates, but also because property taxes have gone up, and that's
Yes.
because of increased home values. And then insurance costs been increasing, and I think we talked about that on a previous show. If you look back at your homeowner's insurance, there's been a lot of storms
Yes.
in recent years, a lot of hail, some tornadoes back in years past. And so the insurance costs are going up too. And of course, you know, home values have increased so much over the last 3 years. We're going to talk about that. today in one of our segments here in about 15 or 20 minutes about what average home values look like where you live as a listener today. And we'll look at communities here in the metro and all around the metro.
Cool.
So the values are becoming more stable right now because it's seasonal and the slower market kicks in. But, clearly, $300,000 doesn't buy nearly as much home today, Dave, as it did 2 or 3 years ago. And not just from increases in interest rates, but really from these rapidly rising home prices and values.
Okay, but with home values rising as much as they have, anyone that currently doesn't have a home probably has to feel like they're missing out. It's an asset that's really going to appreciate in value so much more than other investments we've talked about over previous shows, CDs and other banknotes and stuff, right?
And it's not always been that way. When I met Cindy, and she moved here from California and talked about these 30% swings in value in just a short time, a year or 18 months. And I always thought, wow, wouldn't that be nice here? And then, of course, Cindy explained that, well, when you have the high increases, the quick appreciation in value, that can also go away.
Flip the other way.
Right?
Yes.
And so, but I agree, Dave, it's a good time for home sellers that with all this appreciation that we've recognized over the last 2 or 3 years, that a lot of home buyers are struggling. So as a home seller, try to put yourself in their shoes. Perhaps your home has, let's say, an older HVAC system that needs replacement in the near future. And a home inspector is going to find that and report that to a buyer during the inspection period. To replace an HVAC system can be $6,000 to $10,000 or more to do the components and replace the systems. How about the age of your roof shingles? If they're more than 8 or 10 or 12 years old, the buyer in their mind probably sees themselves having to replace that roof with probably not a whole lot of insurance coverage in just a few years, especially if there's a hailstorm. And so appliances, how old are they? Water heaters are expensive. For all those items, are they near the end of their useful life? And is that what a buyer is going to perceive as they do inspections on the home and look, right?
Yeah, that could be one of those hitches you talk about.
And it might be that you price your home in such a way that you compensate for that.
Right.
You realize that, those things are going to have to be replaced, and buyers not going to be able to get full replacement roof coverage. They're going to get what's called a prorated
actual
policy.
cash value. Right?
Yes. And they're only going to get, we just visited with some people here recently, and they were telling us that on a big house, only going to get $5,000 because their insurance is depreciated.
Okay. And so what you mean is $5,000 of coverage, but if that roof is going to cost $12,000 to replace, their liability is going to be $7,000 or more. It's good to get a seller in the mind frame of a buyer. Look, Dave, a lot of buyers go into a home. They're there for 30 minutes. They fall in love with it. They know there's a shortage of inventory. They go sleep on it, or they run back to the real estate broker's office. They write an offer. They submit it. Now they go out and do inspections, and here comes the home inspector saying, hey, wait a minute. Did you see this when you looked at the property? Did you know the age of the roof shingles? Well, the seller disclosed it, but we didn't know the condition. Again, put yourself in the buyer's shoes. How would you view the things if you were the home buyer as opposed to being the home seller? With affordability issues for today's home buyers, Cindy, many of them just need help. You and I have talked about this, help in the financial sense of how do I afford to buy this home knowing that interest rates are higher, taxes are higher, property insurance is higher. And so there's a few things for sellers to keep in mind, right?
Absolutely.
So these buyers have a down payment to make. They're expected to pay their own closing costs. And then, again, the concerns about what they would do anyway. They may not love your paint colors or your decor on the inside. So between mechanical updates and cosmetic changes, and then, Dave, if you buy a home, don't you want to have a little slush fund there? I mean, you kind of hate to go buy a home, clear out your savings account with down payment and closing cost money, and then know that you want to move in and make some changes, but look over and your bank balance is $400 after closing, or $4,000 after closing. So I think buyers want that slush fund. You got to understand they want to make changes, not live in the home exactly like you. And
they may have to buy some washer and dryer, refrigerator. They may have to do that. And so that's something that a seller can do, is maybe give in on some closing costs to help out.
I'm going to use a phrase that I learned this week, and I think it fits this aptly. It sounds like we're getting back to the basics of
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety, and psychological needs.
Oh, yeah. I remember
like
those
that?
now from
Boy,
college.
I sound like a big college student now.
Yeah.
So I think there's 5 levels
Yeah.
in
Yes.
Maslow's hierarchy, right? And the bottom are psychological and safety needs. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you're clearing out your bank account, do you feel a whole lot of safety there?
No, because
So-
you don't know what's going to happen around the corner to your house
Absolutely.
that you didn't plan for.
Right, right.
So buying a home, especially a larger home, is an obligation versus just staying put where you are. Like investing in the stock market, there's risk. You buy a stock or an investment hoping it's not going to cost you in the long run, and you get a return instead of seeing a loss.
Right.
Buying a home can be the same way. It's important that home sellers, despite how good the market was the last 2 or 3 years, understand that the market has vastly changed.
Yeah. If you're a home buyer or a home seller, how do you succeed in the current market? So I'm asking you to speak out of both sides here, the home and the buyer. How do you succeed as a
Well,
home or
you know,
buyer?
in these 2 or 3 years past, it was all sellers market. They weren't
Yes.
willing to do anything. But now I think, like I said, maybe being willing to, based on the updates that you've done and the things that are going to need to be done, maybe being willing to give in on some
Compromise?
Yeah,
compromise.
same page.
Uh-huh.
Get on the same page. That's exactly
Absolutely.
the words I was going to use.
Whether
Dave.
it's closing costs, whether it's in negotiation for price.
Yeah, yeah. Financial help. You know, many home buyers are still interested in buying even right now with higher rates if they can get help. Maybe it's like Cindy said, paying part of their closing costs. Remember that buyers' closing costs are generally 2.5% to 3.5% of the purchase price,
Okay.
Yes.
along with the required down payment. So if the seller will go in and perhaps help paying some closing costs, or perhaps some of those closing costs could be used for a buy down so that the buyer can get a lower interest rate.
That's
And we
right.
talked about that last week, a buy down, where if the rates right now are 7.25,
That's about right.
wish they were a 7.25, right? Are they
Yeah,
about
probably
7.5?
7.5 to 8
To
with
8.
most lenders with good credit and good income
So
today.
you could be starting out at 4.5 or 5.
Yeah,
and
that's
build up
right.
from there.
Yeah, so if rates are 7.5, again, a good qualified buyer could start as low as say 4.5 or 5.5%. And how does that sound to you, Dave? As
It's,
opposed to
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
at 7.5 instead, starting at 5.5. So
Yes.
the way that works is you would start at a lower rate, like a 4.5 or a 5.5, for example, today, and then graduate in year 2 of ownership to 1 percentage point higher. Let's say in year 2, that's 5.5 to 6.5%. And then finally a step up in year 3 to say whatever the rates are today,
Sure.
7.5 to 7.75. And this allows a buyer, Dave, to progress in their career and their salary to ease into a higher rate each year.
And you know, one other benefit of that is the fact that some lenders will qualify you on that second step, that middle step. So perhaps you can get qualified for something a little bit larger if you have possibly some compensating reserves, your job is stable. There's a lot of things that go into qualification, but it does allow you to qualify at perhaps lower than today's rate.
Yeah, for a little more house, right? And the last thing I'd say to this, Dave, is, you know, the last few years, rental rates have just been increasing steadily. This is a similar example with a buy down. You start in year 1 with a lower rate, and it graduates up, always with the opportunity to refinance.
So let's talk about, someone wants to just pay cash. I would assume that a buyer who's paying all cash just wants to find a home they believe is reasonably priced in exchange for bringing cash money to the table, right?
That's right. Most people have to feel pretty good about letting go of all that cash.
I agree.
So a home seller who reduces their price in return for a good, solid buyer, and remember, a cash buyer sometimes will have a component of a requirement of an appraisal, but sometimes not. So the seller doesn't have to worry about that appraisal. And a seller needs to appreciate that. That is something that's golden when it comes to selling your home.
Yeah, I would definitely say that a lot of cash buyers feel that because they have that cash, that there should be some concession from the seller.
Sure.
So in this market, you're asking about balance. How do you get buyers and sellers together on the same ledger sheet, right? How do you
Yes.
get them together? So understand today that there are fewer buyers inside the marketplace. So if you want to appeal to buyers, it's just like we said, it's a changed market. It's not like it was 2 or 3 years ago where sellers had all of the control inside the marketplace. And finding that win-win meeting the buyer halfway, either coming down on that price a bit, maybe paying some closing costs, understanding that there's going to be some repairs there, maybe helping them with closing costs in the way of a buy down. All of these things can help get you on the same page as the buyer.
And then you get your home sold, and then the buyer gets to keep a little slush fund.
That's right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Wally's Weekly Wisdom coming up next.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Buying or selling a home? Is your older home having issues in the crawl space or attic? Is your new home about to reach the end of its 1-year warranty? Todd Stewart, owner of Oklahoma Home Inspection Service, has been serving residential and commercial clients since 1985. He will give you the confidence of knowing your building systems are safe and operating as they should. Enjoy the peace of mind you deserve. Call Oklahoma Home Inspection Service today at 405-366-8889. That's 405-366-8889.
I'm Wally Kerr, and if you didn't know, there are 6 big reasons why homeowners like you choose to list their home for sale with us. First is our offer to sell your home at a price agreeable to you, or we'll buy it ourselves. How can we do this? It's reason number 2. We have hundreds of pre-vetted home buyers waiting for their dream home to come available. That home may be yours. I'll show you our list of buyers when we meet. Our partnership with Zillow is reason number 3. Zillow chose our team to help dozens of ready home buyers each and every month. Reasons 4 and 5, MLS data shows that our listings have sold faster and for more money on average for 4 years in a row. But don't take my word for it. We have hundreds of online reviews at both Google and Zillow. See what our customers say about us. I'm a 35-year broker with over 4,000 home closings. My team and I are ready to work for you. Call me at 405-330-3000 at your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, or simply visit wallyhasthebuyers.com. I look forward to talking to you myself. Call me at 330-3000. 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
What not to say about your home when you're selling. We're at part 4 of a 5-week segment, and it's been pretty interesting because there's some things that seem obvious and some that, yeah, I would have let that slip. I would have thought, clear out the closet. We don't need any clothes in there, or just one set of clothes. Hey, by the way, this is a great time. Squirrel. Go back and listen to the last 3 weeks because we have these topics on what not to say when selling your home. Again, this is week 4, and Wally, what do we have today?
It's interesting, Dave. In all these years of showing buyers homes, you get some sellers who are standing on the front porch when you show up, and they're tight-lipped, and they get in the car, and they leave. But there are other sellers who are very friendly. Sometimes you think they ought to be in sales themselves, but bite their lip. There are things you can say to a buyer that might get you a little bit lower offer when you're selling your home. And one of those is, we need to move closer to our parents to help care for them. You know, many people do need to be closer to family or have a desire to be there. There's never any need to share that information with many home buyers, since it really suggests that you need to sell your home pronto, really fast, right? And that's what happened to Chris. Another thing you'd never want to say is, I had some recent surgery, or I hurt my back, and I can no longer climb the stairs inside my home.
That's one of those that I may have not thought about that because I'm just thinking, well, that's obviously my problem. I have to move out of the house because of this. But it puts a little nugget into a buyer's brain that, well, you know, I'm 54 right now, And if I'm in this house for 10 years, I'm 64. Who knows what's going to happen? Am I going to have trouble walking up and down the stairs?
I get a lot of calls for listings that Cindy and I have for home sellers. And an agent might call that's shown the property and say, hey, can you tell me why they're selling? It's such a great home. And so not only does the seller have to be careful about that.
Yes.
Let's go to a different scenario. What if I have a couple of sellers that have decided they're not going to stay together? Partners who have said, we're divorcing, we're not staying together. If I were to let that cat out of the bag, this other agent is probably going to run back and tell their buyer that. What's the first thing the buyer thinks?
Desperation, and that means a lower price.
So an experienced realtor, and I say that because I mean that experience does matter when you're selling your home. You know, what is your realtor going to share? Are they going to protect your best interests? And that's always forefront to us if you're a home seller. So let's go back to that one. You know, I can't climb the stairs. A number of home sellers move out of 2 or 3 story houses for health reasons. And you don't want to draw attention to the fact that there's a lot of stairs throughout the home. Maybe it's not going to be good for older home buyers, or maybe even home buyers with young children where they don't want multiple levels.
You know, that's right. And I think it's a good point, though, to mention what we do say and don't say. But as realtors, we also have to disclose everything we know that's a problem about the house. So that doesn't mean that we're not disclosing something that we know is an issue with the house.
Yeah, under the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission laws, there are certain things that are confidential. And one of those things that you cannot share without a seller's permission is what is their motivation to sell. Nor, if it's a buyer, can we tell someone, a home seller, and say, look, this buyer will pay more because their older parents live down the street.
Yeah.
These parents are moving here from Seattle, and the kids and the grandkids live down the street.
That's an unfair advantage. So we would not do that.
Next week is part 5 as we wrap up Wally's 5-part series on what not to say when selling your home. And you can obviously catch previous segments in this series, which are labeled on wallytalkshouses.com. Matter of fact, all the shows, but especially if you want to get caught up the last 3 segments and you want to catch today's again or even know what's coming ahead next week, go to wallytalkshouses.com and check out the previous segments. You're really going to like them. Okay, so we talked about this last week, and I'm glad we get to do this again because I love techie stuff, and I love hearing about the stuff in homes that you know, with your apps, you can do all this. Like you guys, Wally, you've told me this before, have the hot water ready, take that shower when you get home. So this is tech trends in homes, and I'm going to direct this to you, Cindy. This is week 2 of your series on design and technology trends. So what do you have for us today?
Well, I want to start with kitchens because that's really a focal point of the house. That's where family all gathers. And one that was super interesting if you're replacing your oven is ovens that are tech ovens that, for example, have an internal camera that will upload to social media so you can post pictures of the food cooking. Don't you want to do that?
Oh, boy. I hope that there are no pictures that go up in my food. You remember the movie Grumpy Old Men where he's burning the roast? The bird's a little done in the oven there.
And then there's an algorithm in some of these ovens where it actually can recognize up to 80 different dishes and decide on time and cooking, send notifications to your phone so that it doesn't burn. You would actually get a notification before it burns so you would know.
So you're telling me this, and I know I should believe you. But this sounds crazy. This sounds like the Jetsons' house or something. But putting something in and your oven says, oh, yeah, this is a quiche.
Yeah,
Let's cook it for 20 minutes. That's cool.
And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of these things work with your Google, Amazon, Alexa, Google assistants, and they allow you to control these appliances using voice commands. And that really makes cooking easier. Smart appliances can be programmed to start cooking at a specific time, and some of them actually have chillers in them where the food is chilled until a certain time while the family's at work.
Oh, wow.
Then it cooks it perfectly, and it's ready to go when you get home with your family.
That's amazing.
Is there a pizza slicer? If you bake a pizza in the oven, does it slice it for you? Because that would be cool, too.
I love the healthy cooking.
Dave, you could get rich now sharing your technology ideas if you could just get somebody to go create that for you.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Yes.
I mentioned healthy cooking, and it's eventually kitchen appliances may be automated to the point, I love this, that they'll tell you what you need to eat based on your dietary or health needs.
Okay, so does this mean my appliances are going to tell me not to eat those cheese enchiladas that I'm about to warm up.
Yes.
If they've been sitting in the refrigerator too
Based
long.
on your height, weight, and health, they're going to say no, no,
Well,
no.
based on that, there's not a lot of food I can eat. So,
You know, Dave, I guess all of us can use reminders to eat healthier. I just didn't realize it would be my oven making those reminders.
it would definitely be a great conversation piece for the holiday parties, family reunions. I was thinking Thanksgiving, especially when the turkey is in the oven and you have the camera posted on social media.
And you're all going, I wonder if it's done.
Okay, so cameras in the oven. I'm not sure about cameras in the bathroom. Let's talk about bathroom technology. Like the kitchen, another place in our homes we spend a lot of time.
Yes.
We probably like to be pampered and have the latest technology. Tell us what we can expect from the latest bathroom technology.
Well, warming drawers and towel racks that will heat your towel so that it's perfect temperature.
Okay, like the cold blast earlier this week. That kind of took me by surprise. I would love to have a warm towel or maybe a warm robe waiting for me in the bathroom or closet. That would have been really nice, especially obviously in the winter months coming ahead. I guess you could also install one of those in your closet if you have room, correct?
That's right. There are portable heated towel racks. And I saw one at Home Depot for just $70. Unbox it, plug it in, and it's ready to go.
Okay, so I always tell Wally, I hope Kim isn't listening to the show today because she's going to want to buy something. But I think this is something she might want and might make a great gift. So now you're helping me out with my Christmas shopping.
Good, good. Well, smart showers are another interesting component. They start your water, and when it's at the desired temperature, you're ready to step in. You're not standing in your shower with that cold blast of water
yes.
on you. It's completely customized. One of the systems brings together 4 elements: water, steam, lighting, and music to give you a true multi-sensory showering experience.
I'm going to have to research that. That sounds something that I know Wally and I would both be interested because we're going to put on a little chic, a little cool in the gang. We got the night show going, nice steam. So, yeah, that's one more of those unexpected cold blasts, and I'm going to be ordering one of those pretty soon.
I saw one of those online as Cindy was looking around at tech items. It was really cool, Dave. It was a little keypad that you mounted inside the shower that was waterproof.
Okay.
You adjusted the water temperature. You adjusted the specialty lighting. If you had a little steam system, you could adjust the steam to do whatever you wanted to do, which is great when you've got a head cold. You know, that's awesome.
Yes.
And the music.
And the music. And it was a cool little keypad. And, of course, they can get a little pricey. I think I saw that system was something like $1,300, and I'm
Okay.
sure that probably didn't include the steam unit.
Yes.
You know, but if you're building a home and
These
you
are
want to
things.
luxuriate, you know,
Yes.
I don't take baths. Cindy takes baths. I shower, and I'm normally in and out pretty quick. But, you know, if I had a really, really great shower with lighting and
Oh,
music
yes.
and steam and the right temperature,
Hours.
you might not be able to get me out of there. You know?
Okay, so let's clear the air. How about smart toilets and toilet technology?
Well, actually, we've sold houses, and you probably remember a few of these, Wally, that had these toilets, seat warmers, cleaning bidets. I think one even had music, didn't it?
Yeah, I remember us going in a house, and when you walked in and went in the door, it was dark in that room,
Yes.
and lights lit up, and the lid popped up, and it started playing music. So it was pretty
That is
cool.
fantastic.
So, yeah, when it comes to taking your personal time
Yes.
in that room, there's lots of different options
It's
you
kind
can
of
buy.
scary, though, when you first walked in and saw it. Wally warned me about it
Well,
when
what
we
was
listed
scary,
this
Dave,
house.
was the toilet had a camera.
No,
Okay, I'm just kidding.
no.
Just kidding.
There we go.
Now, there are smart LED frame mirrors, and not only do you look in your mirror while you're shaving, but it gives you the day's weather forecast,
Yes.
news, traffic
I've seen that.
updates.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I always enjoy going to Red Rock Canyon Grill.
Yes.
Of course, I love the food, but you walk in the restroom. Normally, there's a sports game on, so I can see the score. So my family always wonders why I go to the restroom 9 times every time
It's
I
on
go
the
to Red
mirror.
Rock.
Yes.
There's the sports scores, right?
That's right.
Those
Now-
are really cool.
There are smart bathroom mats, too. I don't know if you're going to like this one or not. It measures your weight and body mass.
She looked at me when she said that. Okay.
Dave, too many donuts, buddy.
So does it have a display on the mat, or does it go to an app?
My understanding is it can provide health benefits, your posture scores, suggested exercises, And it can be discreet and go to an app
so
on your phone.
You know what's going to happen is...
So it doesn't blare out and say, you're
Not
fat.
only does it go to the app, it probably posts to social media
Yeah,
for
there
you
you
to
go.
all your friends. And it says, oh, Dave weighed himself this morning. He needs to stop doing that.
No, I've got this figured out. You're going to keep that smart bathroom mat just to the point it tells you to do 200 sit-ups, and you're going to throw that mat away.
Yeah, then we'll just get rid of that. Okay, fantastic gadgets and technology. That's awesome, especially as our homes become smarter with the home technology that's available today. That's great. I look forward to sharing more of those in the future. Coming up next, we're going to talk average sale prices in the OKC metro area. Has your area increased the most in value? We'll find out next.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful. From knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for your dream home? They're hard to find right now, aren't they? The best homes are being gobbled up quickly by home buyers like you who are finding the best homes at the best prices before you can get to them. Feeling frustrated? Stop the insanity and get on board with a real estate team that will do the work for you. We've got access to off-market homes that other agents don't know about and other buyers can't find. Why? My Guaranteed Home Sale program brings me home sellers every week who would like me to buy their home right now. We call it shadow inventory. Many of these sellers are ready to sell, but just aren't ready to put their home on the market. Some of them want the process to be quick and easy without having to get their home ready and endure a string of showings. Make sense? If you'd like to access these homes and other off-market properties, call me today. Tell me you heard the show when you call. Let's find your perfect home together. I'm Wally Kerr at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, 330-3000. Call me today at 330-3000.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
Okay, average sale prices in the OKC metro area. Which areas have increased the most in value? Now, when we discuss the topics for today at the first part of the show, I have to admit, as much as I've enjoyed Cindy's segment on technology and design, I think everyone did, this is the segment I was looking forward to most, because I know that generally speaking for Oklahomans, home values have really gone up in the last couple of years, recent years. The last 3 years or maybe the last 5 years? When have we really seen the appreciation take off?
Well, that's a good question, Dave. And I pulled all of my data this week from the Oklahoma City Multilist, so I want to be sure and give that credit. First of all, it's really just been in the last 3 years that we've seen this much appreciation. I did go back 5 years, and the price gains were not nearly as significant in 2018 and 19 as it was 2020 and moving forward. So, that needle really moved upward on home values. And there's really some very interesting data here. I've researched a dozen cities in the metro to see which areas appreciated the most and how much over the last 3 years. And I've looked at data for Yukon, Norman, Edmond, Nichols Hills, Mustang, Choctaw, Moore, Piedmont, Tuttle, Blanchard, Newcastle, and even our friends in Shawnee. So let me ask you and Cindy, out of the cities that I just named, which two cities inside the metro would you think have appreciated the most in home values? Really want to know what you guys think.
Ladies
what
first.
You would guess.
I'm thinking Yukon and Edmond.
Yeah, I'm thinking Yukon as well. So I think we're in agreement there. I think that's going to be it. But I don't know where else. Nichols Hills.
Nichols Hills. Okay, so these
and
are
Yukon.
These are really good guesses, and I'll get to it here in a minute.
Okay.
But let's let our listeners hear for the city they live in and what that average sales price has done over the last 3 years. Let's start with Yukon. Over the last 3 years, Yukon home values have appreciated 36%.
Wow.
Since 2020. That's an average of 12% per year. I know a lot of that has been driven by new homes.
New home construction.
Yukon has had more affordable land than what Edmond did, and it's a great location off of the Kilpatrick. Lots and lots and lots of new homes, and we all know that new home prices really shot up because of materials, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of appreciation. If you're a home buyer and you've never bought and you're still sitting on the sideline, over the last 3 years, you've missed about 12% average appreciation per year in Yukon with a 36% increase in values. Norman, pretty close to that, a 31% increase, a climb from an average of $231,000 to just over $300,000, $302,000. That's 31% appreciation over the last 3 years. How about Edmond? That average sales price over the last 3 years has jumped from $312,000 to $417,000, which is a 34% increase. Now, I'm going to tell both of you, we haven't hit the two highest cities yet. Okay?
Oh, I was high on the hog here thinking, well,
sorry,
I got
Yukon is not one of them. Stay tuned here and listen and where you live here in the metro. How about Nichols Hills? 3 years ago in 2020, the average sales price in Nichols Hills was $811,000. Now it's $1,056,000 for a whopping 30% increase over the last 3 years. I think that's noteworthy because here you've got these very expensive homes appreciating still at 10% per year.
Yes.
That is a real testament to people wanting to live in Nichols Hills. You know, normally you would think that upper segment would perhaps appreciate quite a bit slower, and that's not the case. Mustang has also had a nice appreciation of about 20% over the last 3 years from an average sales price of $243,000 to $291,000. In Moore, a 32% increase, going from $187,000 all the way up to an average of $247,000 in the current market. Choctaw, a 33% increase from $253,000 to $336,000 in price.
Wow.
Average price today in Choctaw, $336,000. Now, Piedmont's interesting. Piedmont actually peaked out higher last year than where it is right now. It's one of those communities, I think, because of the school system. You know, Deer Creek schools began to get so many students that a lot of people moved up to Piedmont looking for acreages and nice housing. So Piedmont jumped from $250,000 3 years ago. It's currently a $334,000 average, but last year was all the way up to $356,000 on average. How about Tuttle? How much do you know about Tuttle, Oklahoma?
Well, I'm about to learn quite a bit.
Well, you are. You are. Now, in Tuttle, and I think one of the reasons they peaked also last year was because there's so many acreages in Tuttle. Dave, in general, all across the marketplace, would there be more houses for sale in town or on acreages?
In town.
Sure, of course. So in Tuttle, lots of acreage properties, and I think that really blew the values over the top last year in Tuttle. Right now in Tuttle, the average sales price is $315,000. You know, last year it peaked all the way up at $346,000. Way up in values. So Tuttle is actually up 22% now from where they were 3 years ago. Here come our big numbers.
Okay.
For those of you who live in Blanchard, your average sales price 3 years ago was $243,000. The average has raised $100,000 in Blanchard over the last 3 years for an increased value of 41%.
Blanchard and Newcastle schools.
Well, and Newcastle is second. So
We
I saved
missed it,
them.
Dave.
We
Saved
did.
them pretty much for the
Darn
end
it.
We
here.
struck out.
So in Newcastle, 3 years ago, the average sales price was $235,000. It's now $328,000 for an increased value as a percentage over the last 3 years of 39.5%.
Wow.
Over 13% appreciation per year. So Blanchard and Newcastle came out on top. I also had numbers here for Shawnee, a really steady 21% increase over the last 3 years. Average sales price jumped from $174,000 to about $211,000. So, Dave, here's what's important to note is aside from Tuttle and Piedmont, every other city that I mentioned today is at its highest average sales price right now compared to where it was 3 years ago. And I think that's a bit surprising with interest rates at their highest levels.
So that's going to be due to low inventory, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
absolutely right. And it's record appreciation on an annual basis over the last 3 years due to one 5-letter word. Can you guess what it is? COVID. COVID
Yeah, I was gonna say.
changed our world. It
Yes.
dropped interest rates so low on our government and the Fed's decisions to try to keep the economy stirred. It actually overstimulated the marketplace, and it just caused all of this and all the demand for homes. And there's good reason, though, to believe that values are going to continue to increase. I think what's most important in this data, if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're a buyer and you're looking and thinking, I wonder if the housing value is going to drop and if it's a safe time to buy, the truth is we've still got very, very, very limited inventory. There's really no belief here at all that home prices are going to drop. I would encourage buyers to get into home ownership sooner than later. If you're a buyer and you're headed into the springtime, you've always got the opportunity to refinance, but home values here, except in 2 instances, and again, that was in Piedmont and Tuttle, where the prices really, really spiked in 2022.
Yes.
Those values have softened just a little bit, but still a great amount of appreciation, and I think a great time to still get in as a home buyer into the marketplace.
Okay, and if you're not going to sell right now, reminders about what you should do to get your home ready for the cold weather. We're going to talk about that next.
The market is shifting. Do you know what to do? If you're selling a home, you need to realize that market demand is changing, and it's changing now. More homes are coming on the market than homes that are actually selling, so the inventory is going up. What does rising inventory mean? Prices can soften. It's important you get on the train right now and understand what you need to do to sell a home. First of all, my guaranteed home sale program will create more demand for your home because I can buy someone else's home so that they can buy yours. If you're thinking about selling by owner, I can create more demand for your home than you can ever create on your own. I'm Wally Kerr, and I believe in aggressive marketing. My wife and I have done this for 36 years together, and we now have a team of 28 people. If you'd like to create more demand for your home so that your home will sell faster and for top dollar, give me a call today at 405-330-4000 at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I'd love to meet with you and discuss a strategy and plan for getting your home sold. Call me at 330-4000. I look forward to talking to you myself.
Finding the right mortgage can be stressful, from knowing which program fits your situation the best to identifying the best terms. Hi, I'm Chris Doak with Gateway Mortgage. I work closely with you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to helping you choose the home loan that's right for you. My promise is to provide transparency, timely communication, personal service, and closings on time. Call me today at 405-253-2276. That's 405-253-2276.
NMLS 984758. Gateway Mortgage, a division of Gateway First Bank. NMLS 7233. Equal housing lender.
Best Protect Roofing and Construction has been serving the Oklahoma community since 2017 with trusted professionals and a proven track record. Best Protect Roofing and Construction has the local knowledge to ensure every roofing project is compliant and hassle-free. They offer free roof inspections to assess damage, provide accurate quotes, and recommend the best solution for your home. Call today, 405-473-9599. Best Protect Roofing and Construction.
If you or a family member will be selling or buying a home and would like to schedule an appointment with Wally, call 405-330-3000 or go to wallysguarantee.com. Now back to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr.
Okay, as we wrap up today's show, we're going to talk about reminders for getting your home ready for colder weather. Now, early in the show, I mentioned the cold snap that we had early in the week. Last weekend was crazy cool. Nice temperatures this weekend, but it's going to be cold again, and it's going to be wintertime. So it's a reminder that we need to get our homes ready for that colder weather. So as we wrap up the show today, Wally, how about some cold weather reminders for homeowners, things they should probably do now as opposed to waiting?
That caught me off guard back on Monday morning. I thought, it can't be that cold. It's supposed to get down, was it 38, 39, 40 degrees? Walked out, and I got caught and actually took a deep breath in.
Yes.
So, it reminds me, Dave, of some of these things that need to be done. Remind me of winterizing our little ski boat.
Okay.
I don't know why, but over the years, what I've done is waited till absolutely that last minute. I panic. I call the boat shop, and they say, well, we just had 17 boats brought in today.
Oh.
And now my problem with that is I don't want the boat sitting outside for 2 weeks while they wait to get to it,
Sure.
because it rains on the inside.
Yeah.
So I think what's most important here is to get some of these things done now before winter sneaks up on you. Let's let Cindy share first.
You know, every year we own some rental properties, so what I try to do is make sure there's enough of those foam covers for all the outside faucets.
And those work really well.
They do, and we have our property manager inform all our renters, hey, unhook your hoses. We're going to bring by some of those foam covers, especially on the north side of the houses. But you go into Atwoods or Home Depot, if you wait till the end and there is not one to be had.
That's right.
You remember that cold when it got down to minus 14 about 3 years ago
And
in
I
February?
was looking everywhere for those
We couldn't
things.
find those foam insulators, and we actually did have several faucets that froze up, and they can break in the wall.
Yes.
You go into the spring and you turn the faucet on. There's just a little bit of water that comes out of the faucet because the rest of it's raining inside the wall. of your home.
So this year, get those. Get your hoses unhooked from your house, especially on the north side. Make sure you've got those foam covers. They're easy to put on.
Dave, if you haven't already turned on your furnace, I'm sure you'll be doing it soon. So getting your furnace serviced and cleaned along with changing your filters is really high on my list. And if you do it now, you know, you'll minimize the chance of being 200th in line for repairs when the coldest day of the year hits.
Amen, brother. Yes.
Also, be sure and winterize your sprinkler system if you have one. So for most of you who have a sprinkler system and you have that fake-looking rock beside your home, don't forget to run out, pull that rock up, beat the spiders off, and turn that little valve 90 degrees to where you're turning the supply line to your sprinkler system from on to off. And that's all you have to do when you've got one of those risers to go in and winterize your sprinkler system.
You know, if you have a wood-burning fireplace, every year you should have a chimney sweep come out and clean your chimney. That is a huge potential for a fire hazard because the creosote builds up in your chimney.
Yes.
And if you wait till the end, which I have done, I've learned my lesson, but years past I did that. I waited till the end, and you are just like winterizing your boat. You are in line with a lot of other folks. So this year, call early. You'll also get better rates because if they know that you're in line, they're not going to cut you a deal.
And we should point out that's only for wood-burning fireplaces,
Absolutely.
not for gas log, but the burning of the wood creates creosote. And same thing Cindy said. I've researched that several times, and it says to clean those yearly. Also, reverse your ceiling fans. So a lot of homes have high ceilings, and you don't want all that heat hanging high on your home ceilings. You want to push that down, even if your fan's on low. So be sure and reverse your ceiling fans.
And caulking your windows and doors, replacing torn or missing weather stripping. You know, look under your front door. If you see daylight there, that's a problem.
Great tips, great advice from experts in real estate for over 30 years each. You know, I've known you guys almost for that 30 years.
Known you a long time, Dave. And it's been a privilege all of these years in knowing you, being able to serve your needs, your family's needs, the friends and family members that you've referred to us. You've put a lot of trust and a lot of confidence in us, and for that, we're really grateful. We appreciate the business that you've sent our way very, very much.
You know, I think a lot of listeners could do that. They could reach out to you. A lot of listeners just love the advice that you guys bring to them each week, along with, of course, the cool tech ideas and the smart toilets that Cindy talked about.
Yeah, those were good.
Yes, but all of your real estate knowledge that we've talked about today and, of course, previous shows. Let me throw that out there, WallyTalksHouses.com. You can go back to that website. You can find all previous episodes, and then you have all the little topics. So it's so easy to search. You guys make it so easy to go back and listen to. Over 100 topics now that we've discussed.
Yeah, the marketing staff's done a really good job of letting the listeners see what each show contains. It is very well organized. You can download or listen to whatever you want to. We enjoy having our listeners each week and the feedback that you give us. Cindy and I are available always. We'd love to help you, your friends, or your family members. You can text us if you like. We're always happy to start a conversation and kind of warm it up if you want to. Text or call us anytime at 330-3000. We're really available 7 days a week. We try to take a little time off maybe on Sunday afternoons for family, but I will tell you, if you text or call us, you will get a prompt response.
Fantastic. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
You've been listening to the Your Home Sold Guaranteed radio show with Wally Kerr. Heard every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. and replayed on Sundays at noon here on 1520 a.m. and 95.3 FM KOKC. Wally's name is his promise. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. To speak with Wally directly about selling your home or buying, call or text him to schedule an appointment at 405-330-3000. 405-330-3000. Or go to wallysguarantee.com. That's wallysguarantee.com.